thought that I would come back and continue what I was doing. I was talking about Eastern Kentucky and how Eastern Kentucky needs you, and it's important. So, yeah, we continue this discussion. We continue this discussion because Kentucky could be any of us. You know, with a change of location, a change of space, you could be living in these areas where your water's being polluted. And then you turn to your government and the government says, well, we actually voted on it and we voted to pollute your water because you're poor. Oh, by the way, hello there, Jaden. Yeah, I do have, new rules on the stream. Like I said, I am a disabled American veteran. I'm going to continue doing my singing live jams. If I have to do my singing live jams to 0 people, that's fine by me. I'm just going to ask for as many donations as possible. If you can't donate because you are young, then I invite you to talk to your parents, talk to, other people. And if they're of 18 years or older and they feel inclined to donate on your behalf, please let me know. Hello there, Clint. As I said, I'm talking about Eastern Kentucky today, but I could easily be talking about New York City. I could easily be talking about Los Angeles, East Palestine, Flint, Michigan. Clint, Michigan. If you had your own city, Clint, you would have to be Clint for Clint, Michigan. I'm joking. But these are things that happened within our recent lifetimes. It's not yesterday, but it was recent. We should care. We really should. CT, hello. Welcome back to the channel. Yeah, it's been a while. I had to take a break. You had to take a break. And, that's completely all right. I'm just glad that you're here now because Kentucky needs you. Kentucky needs you. It needs us. These are people who chose to live in freedom. Let's respect that. Let's respect them enough to say, hey, you chose not to live in a city. We shouldn't penalize you for that. We shouldn't force you to go to any of these delivery stores, Instacart, even, Uber Eats and say, could you bring us water? Because we can't trust the water that comes out the faucet. This is America. We should treat Americans with respect. We should support each other. Hello, Asha. Love from Texas. Ah. I miss Texas. I have this song on my discography, I Wish You Were Texas. Wish You Were Texas. Because that's how I feel right now. I feel so out of place. I'm going to give you guys a spin of my outfit. That's my outfit. That's what I feel comfortable wearing. That's who I am as a person. I'm a punk rock Scotsman. Do I live in Kentucky now? No, I don't live in Kentucky now, but I'm actually thinking about moving there. I'm moving to a place where I know the water's befouled. I'm moving to a place where I know as an environmentalist, these people need me. These people need someone to be loud, outspoken, and to get into the discussion. Because these politicians are supposed to be representing the interests of their people, and they think that just because you live outside the city that you're garbage and you should have your water befouled. That's not the case at all. Am I still planning on going to Canada? I hope that America could do the right thing and just give me my disability benefits so I don't have to fly across the globe just to enjoy freedom again. And it's very simple. You know, I have petitions in my description where, you know, you can help me go to Mars. You can help me be a better engineer. You can help me reduce your bills as an American citizen, because I'm trying to break up the trust that these utility companies have forced upon you. Because most people don't think of the sun as a power source. They think big, happy yellow sun. They don't think that's a nuclear explosion in the sky that can power your cell phone. It can power your computers. It can power your refrigerator, your stove, your heating, AC, all of it. It can take care of all that for you. And you won't have to pay a dime after you obviously buy a solar panel. But sometimes you don't even have to buy the solar panel. You can tell your town, hey, out of the discretionary funds that you have in your budget, how about we just have a solar paneled area for the whole entire town and just take the town off the grid and say, as a town, we don't want to give money to these greedy companies. We don't want to have those greedy companies tax the money that we give them to send to the government, which poisons your water supply. That's something to think about. You know, you live in a country where if you're poor, you're considered less than. And it used to be cool that you could say, oh, well, I'm just bohemian. I'm living that poor lifestyle. Look at me. Oh, I haven't showered in days. It's just like, well, I hope you don't shower. I hope you don't shower in Kentucky. I hope there are lots of hot, sexy men walking around willy-nilly and they haven't showered in fucking weeks because the water is so befouled. I hope that they are smart and they're doing that. I hope that they are doing that. So yeah, I might have to move to Kentucky in the name of science, in the name of environmental justice. I'm going to move to this new haven for hot, hunky men who no longer shower and just sweating in the field and the farms. I'm going to have to move to that area to protect their rights as an environmentalist. Asher, you're pretty cool. Speaking facts, man. I try. I have the article in the description right next to Kentucky Needs You, because you need to read this article for yourself. You need to be invested into the country sometimes. And I say this as a person who loves to check out. I love to just check out of America and just say, I don't give a shit. I really don't. I've been hurt. I don't care anymore. But I can't be that way when... If you ignore a small issue, it becomes larger. When you ignore the small fringe citizens of America, and they are citizens of America, who are asking for their water supply to be left alone, or even better, to invite climate scientists and engineers like myself to come and help them to restore their water, you're a bad person. And I don't want to see bad people in my channel. So in my channel, there is the article. I invite you to speak to your politicians, because this affects you. If you think that your politicians aren't doing backroom deals, well, I mean, they are giving you some backhand, by saying that if the water is in any way polluted, it doesn't matter. Of course it matters. It matters to me. It matters to you. Clint, I would start collecting rainwater if I was these people. Sometimes that's not safe. There are laws actually against collecting rainwater. And you might want to say to yourself, well, why would you need to do that? Why would you need to do that at all? It's because the rainwater isn't any better. You live close enough to a city, you live close enough to a factory, then guess what? All of the sulfur dioxide, all of the chemicals that those factories and cars have been spewing in are coming out of the atmosphere, which is lovely, but I wouldn't drink that if you had a choice. And I don't think they really do. So as much as I would love to see that as an option for some of those people, sometimes that isn't. So we have to do more. We have to. Thank you, Clint, so much for going by. You know, if you want to talk about this on your channel, I invite you to. You know, I invite you to do your own research and make up your own mind, because this affects you. You live in a rural area. You don't want Uncle Sam to come down to your area and say, you don't mind if I just dump this here, do you? Do you drink from this? Do you mind if I just leave this here? It's gonna pollute the water, it'll make you sick, it'll send you straight to the hospital. But, you know, it's Uncle Sam, it's the United States government. You don't mind, do you? You don't need to be healthy. You don't have people who care about you. Of course you have people who care about you. I care about you, Clint. So do your own research and make up your own mind. But if you think that this is an issue, please talk about it on your channel. You have more followers than I do, and every last one of them has to be informed. May the 4th be with you. I want to get into Star Wars so badly. I had my lightsaber and I was practicing my moves and I was pretty good. I'm a natural when it comes to lightsaber choreography, I guess. But it's just the wrong neighborhood for something like that. As I feel weird in this neighborhood because I'm essentially a Scotsman living in a Latin ghetto. I don't think it makes sense. It doesn't make sense. I walk around with my sporran and my kilt and my open vest because I'm all about showing as much skin as possible. I have PTSD from military sexual trauma, but fuck it, you know? This is what I look like now because of all the trauma. I have to learn to accept that I'm beautiful to someone. I don't know who that person is, but they're going to look at this, they're going to see the hair, the beard, they're going to hear the accent, and they're going to say, that's really fucking gorgeous. So, yeah, it's what I wear. Asha, I like how you're being yourself, the truth, speaking it. More people need to hear, they need to care about the environment. Trashing and killing the earth is the reason we're getting sick. Asha, you're absolutely right. I'm going to go back to Clint, what he said. You can actually do a triple filtration system using rainwater where you use the stone clay and charcoal. Clint, you're absolutely right. I'm not debating the science of it. I'm not trying to be rude. I'm really not. But how many people either know how to do that, and how many people are doing that the correct way? It's one thing to have a professional set that up for you. It's another to say, your entire water supply is going to depend on this. And if there's a drought, if the wrong patch of cloud rains on your little container, you're finished. Oh, Asha, thank you so much for coming by. Please like, please subscribe, tell your friends. This is an important issue. Environmental issues are important issues. They're ballot issues. I mean, you talk about national security. I'm saying your domestic policy sucks if you abandon Kentucky. These are American citizens just like you and me. And thank you for the subscription, Asha. I really do appreciate that. The conversation continues. It does. It has to. I joined the military because I know that there is a better life out there. There's a better America out there. An America where you can be proud to be American, where you can be happy to have neighbors who are financially stable and accepting of your lifestyle and you're accepting of their lifestyle. That's the America I want to live in. I don't want to live in an America that says, just because you're in another state, I stop caring about you. I care. I care too much. So when I talk about my countdown to Canada, it's because I care so much, and it seems as if there's only so much I can do here. I can try and talk to people about facts, and it is a fact that water quality is an issue in America. It is a fact that this is an issue that is nationwide, that everywhere needs to be aware of this, and that we need to do more. We need to speak to people in country music. The American Country Music Awards is on Prime Video. It'll be available on May 8th. It'll be streamed live. If American country artists aren't speaking up about this, then they don't deserve any of the awards. They don't deserve to be on a stage, because Kentucky has a lot of country music fans. They buy tickets to your shows, they buy your albums, they buy your t-shirts, they proselytize on social media on your behalf. The least you could do is, even for a second, mention how much they are suffering, how much it hurts you as an American citizen that your government is doing everything to hurt poor people who live in rural communities, who live by themselves, who chose freedom, chose to spend their time with their family, making memories and living happy lives, instead of being trapped in these ridiculous cities that make us sick, make us sad, keep us lonely, make us fat. No, they chose another way. I envy them. I envy their ability to be self-resilient, self-reliant, to resist the bells and whistles of social media and entertainment and anger politics, rage issues that seem to strip us of our humanity. I hope all of us can find it in our hearts to read the article, say something, talk about it on X, talk about it on Facebook, make a petition. Donald Trump is decimating the Environmental Protection Agency. I'm of the mindset that he's on the right track. This fight has never been about government agency versus government agency. It has been about Rich people against poor people. Rich people against freedom thinkers. Parents who wanted to raise their children in loving homes with good morals, good values, and a community civic mind. Find it in your hearts to care. I know I do, every day. I have PTSD from military sexual trauma, and all of my instincts are telling me to just cut and run, abandon all of these people who, through their silence, through their cowardice, have allowed countless servicemen like myself to be raped or abused during their military service and afterward. But my mother did not raise me to be a person consumed by hate. My father didn't raise me to be a person who did not see the value in communication. So instead of just being an angry, disgruntled veteran, I'm going to be an angry, disgruntled veteran who speaks about why America needs to change, why it's important to vote not just with the ballot, but with your dollars. If Kentucky thinks that you can hurt rural homeowners and there won't be repercussions, they have another thing common. You know, there are several ways to put economic sanctions on them. And that's what you have to do. You have to boycott, and then you have to send relief, because these people in Eastern Kentucky are going to need water, and they need it yesterday, because they're going to need to drink from it, they're going to need to cook with it, and they're going to need to bathe with it, because they can't rely on the water supplies that they've had for generations. What was good in your grandpa's day is no longer safe. And it probably wasn't even safe in your parents' time, which is why your parents are sick now. I don't know if there's an American Red Cross, but I will be reaching out to the American Red Cross to see if they have received enough foresight to make a relief webpage for the victims of corporate greed in Kentucky, who are now having their drinking water poisoned, just drinking water polluted. So I hope the Red Cross, the American Red Cross, is having at least a way to donate to these people, a way to send them water, send them food. And I hope that I can reach out to, I don't know, maybe even Amazon or some local grocery chains and say, I know you have water sitting on shelves. Could you donate some of the water to Eastern Kentucky? Because these people, they need to drink. Everybody drinks water. Even when you think, oh, I don't drink water. Of course you do. Even when you stop drinking water and you drink your soda and whatever, every time you take a shower, every time you wash your hands, you're drinking water, whether you like it or not. If it doesn't go in your mouth, it's going on your skin, and your skin will absorb it. So you better make sure that your water is free of pollutants, or you'll get sick too. So what's happening in Kentucky can happen to you, whether you live in Kentucky or you live around Kentucky, or if you even live across the globe. We have to stop thinking of, oh, that's somebody else's problem. It's your problem too. So try and find it in your hearts to care. It's hard for me, but I will keep trying. I'll keep trying. thought I would come back and just have another conversation about this. No, I don't really feel like seeing right now. I'm just too angry about it. But maybe some other time. I want to thank everyone that's come by. I want to thank Jaden. I want to thank Paula. I want to thank Clint. I want to thank Asher. I want to thank everybody for coming in. CT, welcome back, man. Welcome back. Thank you, everyone, for coming in and showing that this is not a silent issue, and it never will be. My name is IanXIlyana. This is Kentucky Needs You. Thank you so much for coming by. I hope to see you on the next podcast.